I'm Varun, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a free course preview of the Crush Performance Reviews for Engineers program that I'm going to kick off in September. And in this presentation, I'm going to go through the first module and we'll knock it out of the park today. I'm excited. Let's get going. I will touch upon all these different aspects of the course, but I wanted to get started and just dig deep into this module one, which is creating a review courtroom. Basically, what we see of the performance review process is just one-on-one between us and our company. And there can be many different aspects or many different ways that performance is evaluated in your company. So put it in the chat box. Which type of performance evaluation does your company follow? Is it the 9-box rating, which is, I think, the most common one out there? There is also five-grade rating system, the 360 review, and the qualitative essay one. So put it in the chat box so that I have some context going into this conversation, the different kind of performance reviews that your company does. From my side, when I was in a previous company, which was a Fortune 500 company, it was more of a qualitative based because I was a contractor there. And now with the company that I work with, it is completely qualitative and customer reviews, which is completely different than maybe some of the companies do out there. 9-box and 360 says Srivardhan. I would love to kind of get more input from everybody else attending. What kind of performance review systems do you guys have in the company? Currently don't have any reviews. Sriram, I'll touch upon that. I have been a contracted employee at a company in the start of my career, but still is important. Karthik says 360 review. That's interesting. Don't see a whole lot of that just being the one that happens. But I get a gist of where people are in this process. Varun says the same thing as Sriram. That's fair enough.
Can I know the difference between 360 and essay type of review?
Yeah, so the 360 review is basically you are not just being reviewed for your performance, you are also being reviewed about with how your peers talk about you. And there's also levels. So for example, if you were a manager in a 360 review, people above you would also rate you, people under you would also, their direct reports will also rate you. So it's a complete 360 view of your performance.
Got it.
Yeah, anytime anybody has a question, just unmute yourself. We have a small group here, so we can definitely do a more conversation style of presentation. So this is what we see, us and our direct supervisor. Even as a contracted employee, I think this is what you are judged on by your contractor, whether you are doing good versus the goals that you set. Then the second part will be the self-review, where you kind of do your own analysis, introspective analysis as to how your year went. And you get a final rating from your manager. But what we don't see in this process is between these different steps is a bunch of conversations that happen behind the scenes that we are not privy to. And that's what is called calibration meetings. This is a meeting where the director, along with the HR, meets with his or her direct reports. So your supervisor and your supervisor's peers meet in a room multiple times to discuss who should be the one that gets the topmost rating or the second best rating. And then all the others in the group are just, the performance rating is just trickled down within them. So behind the scenes, there are so many different layers to this. It's not just you and your goals and your team's goals. It is the complete part of the business unit under your director. It is all the other managers, all your peers, even technical specialists or contractors who are not part of the review system have a big say in the performance review process. Because we have a couple of people who are from contracting companies, this same thing applies. And I'll add those nuances again and again, is that even though you are being judged by your contractor, which is the group manager, if you are eventually looking to get into the company, or you want to make sure that you are performing so highly that it is easy for you to get a job elsewhere, you are going to be rated not just by your performance, but as a whole of the value that you add to the group. See, what do you mean the graphic was wrong?
Usually in a bell curve, you pick the ones closer to the center, not to the right. They're the extremities, right?
No, see,
You put
the
green.
bell curve. All right. So on the x-axis is the performance rating. So let's go from 0 to 9, from left to right. And on the y-axis is
You're
the number
looking
of
at this
people.
like an okay, got it. I was looking at purely as the bell curve versus your 9-boxer style rating graph. Okay,
I see. So no,
okay.
Just a few people get the highest rating. I would
Right,
say
absolutely.
But the rest are the average.
Gotcha. Thanks for clarifying.
My pleasure. For people who don't know, Shivardhan was my classmate. So we've had these conversations a lot. But generally, I'm the one who's asking him my doubts. All right, let's get going. So this calibration meeting, again, is such an interesting concept that happens behind the doors that we are not privy to at all. And I got to know about this entire process through the 4 managers that I interviewed for this program. A bunch of the insights from that are shared in the course syllabus at different points and at different days of the course. Now, in this calibration meeting, there will be your manager. Let's say he is nominating you to be the top performer. Then there is a manager B who is nominating one of their team members, and then a manager C who's nominating 2 people that they think should be the top performer here. What do you guys think are the different variables that will come out during this meeting while they are deciding on who the top performer should be? Put it in the chat box if you have ideas of what those different variables would be. Or you can unmute and just share. This is, again, the biggest part of me creating a cohort-based course is that not only we learn from the syllabus, but we learn from each other. So feel free to unmute and share. Or the chat box works as well. Okay.
Apart from work, what else do you get into the table, as in overall to the team, and what responsibilities that you are willing to take?
Right. So you already talked about the performance. That's the baseline. You also said what other value we are adding to the group or other responsibilities we are taking. That's great. Quality of project performance, leadership in project, peer mentorship, all those are great points. Anything else you feel that's going on in here? Think about being a fly on the wall. Number of goals met, leadership skills, collaboration with others. Okay. Imagine you're a fly in the wall and these people are having conversations, discussions about who should be the next top performer, known by other leaders in the council. All of that is true. There are a couple that haven't been uncovered that would be very interesting to talk about. So the first one is HR policies. Now, a lot of this is determined by what the HR thinks should be the top performance criteria or the rating for that year. Many a times you will have HR tell these directors and managers, you can't give the highest rating to somebody, or you can only give the highest rating to one person. From all the discussions that I've had with my managers and the way that I've seen work in my company is that you can probably see one person within the entire director group get the top rating. Another person get like maybe close to the top, but then everybody else kind of tends to fall under the average rating. So that is determined by HR policies. Then obviously the overall performance, your leadership skills, your goals that you're meeting, that's all true. Then the value you add to the group. So Sriram said additional responsibilities, people say collaboration with others. All of that is true as well. Peer performance. Now, this is something that might be easy to miss, is that when you think about your performance being rated, not just within the people in your group, but within different parallel groups under the main director, you will start to realize that even if you think you are the top performer within the group, there could be a top performer in a parallel group that deserves to be the highest rating for that year. Manager dynamics. Think of your manager being your cheerleader in this meeting. How much evidence, how much support have you provided him to make the case for you? How much is he able to convince that you should be the top performer as while they are debating with the other people in the group? Team stability. Now, this is such an interesting one. One of the managers from the people that I interviewed said that if there is a high performer or somebody who's a linchpin for their group, for the directors group, and if the people in that meeting think there is a chance that this person will leave or there is a chance that this person is not motivated, I'm sure since he's a linchpin, they do good work. So it's easy for them to make the case to get them the highest rating so that they get the highest raise or the bonus, however it works in the organization, and they are motivated to stay within the group. So team stability and asset protection, to put it in a different word, is also a variable that takes place here. And then finally, overdue peers. Now, imagine you have a team member who did a lot of work in the past year. The work that they did or the product that they created is reaping the benefits for this year. That's when somebody like them gets the benefit of the doubt, gets the late reward of getting the highest rating. So there are a bunch of different variables that goes on in these calibration meetings. The role of the HR in this meeting is to make sure that the discussion is civil, to make sure that there are no biases in the subjective process. So if you just take the example of a 9-box rating, from this calibration meeting, what will come out is, let's say one of the persons was selected to be the top performer and the other was selected to be the second best performer. What you are left with is all the people are then put into the average performance, average leadership group, or some kind of an average rating system. What it makes me feel like is that this room is like a courtroom. I don't know if this GIF is working, and these two people are in a lot of news lately. And I love Keenan Thompson, by the way. But that is what a courtroom feels like, or a calibration meeting feels like. So imagine this meeting. There's a judge who's generally the director or the person or the HR who's giving out the ratings. You have attorneys who are your direct supervisor or your manager's peers. You have your clients, which are you personally and your peers. So basically, each manager is pitching their employee or their direct report as the top performer within the group. And trust me that it is a pitch. It is a negotiation. It is a debate, because who wouldn't want that their direct report gets the highest monetary benefit, because that will make them happy. That will keep them in the group motivated. So everybody in this room is pitching their candidate to be the top performer, poking holes in others people's candidature. And there are also different jury members that will have their say in this process. So the jury members are specialists or contractors who may not have anybody directly reporting to them, but they are still within your director's group. They have a say of, oh, I like that guy because he helped me. I like that girl because she helped me do this. They'll have a big say in that process. And also all the variables that we talked about will happen in that process. So this is so much like a modern day courtroom. So it is normal to question, because that is something I question as well, is that, is the performance rating that important? And this may apply as well to the contract people here, is that I'm not getting any performance rating. Doing this, is it still important to do? The question is, or the fact that I have uncovered, is that promotions are not just offered to exceptional performers. So all the 4 managers that I talked to, or me included, we have seldom, very rarely have had the top performance rating. Most of the time, it may not be the topmost rating, but each one of us was pushing to be the leader of the group, was pushing hard to be the person that gets noticed, gets picked by the decision makers for the next promotion. So it is crucial whether you are in the conversation that's happening in this group. And you can only be in that conversation when you're pushing to be a leader. So let's do a quick exercise. This is a 5-minute exercise, and I'm going to lay down the terms here. So first, open any canvas, a paper, digital doc, notes, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you have handy besides you. Create your group's organization chart and go 2 levels up. So here's an image of what I have created. Now, I have given 2 examples here because my previous company was a more structured one, it was a Fortune 500 company, so there was a lot more structure, a lot more layers. So there was a CTO, there were 2 business groups. Within 2 business groups, the manager was managing 5 to 6 people. There are also consultants. And then in my current company, a few years back, we had just a completely flat structure between the founder of the company, who started the company in 2003, and over the years, we engineers joined him, and it was completely flat. And then next, you want to brainstorm evidence that you are going to provide for your attorney. So this can be 3 different types. A, that support your goals and is in line with the director's goals. So here are some examples of that. Could be executive summaries, 1-page reports, conference papers, physical parts that you have developed, or pictures of demonstrations. This is the hard evidence of your performance. Then it can also be a learning that you can share with the entire group. Can be a specific part of the project that a lot of people can get benefit from. It can be a mini course that you can create on a particular subject and have people attend that course. It can be scripts, frameworks, systems, software products that have helped you, roundup of all the applicable articles or all the conference articles, presentations that you've been to. All those are way to add value to the group. And finally, specific help that you can provide to your manager's peers. So either your manager's peers or their direct reports. Is there any intersection of the skills that you have and the project that they are working on? Can you help them automate a part of their duties? Or are you willing to work with a team member and help them solve a particular problem that you just heard in a group-wide meeting? So I'm going to start 5 minutes, and I can also show you this is something that I came up with, and I tried to make sure that it was 5 minutes. What I came up with in terms of the evidence that I can provide this year is that I'm writing a paper in the SAE conference, and that is a great advertisement for my company. What I can do with the B part is recently when I went to a conference, it is difficult to talk to people one-on-one and have a deeper conversation. So I used a script while talking to people in an introductory conversation, asking them for more time during the conference to talk in much more deeper project sense. And that's what I can share, because everybody on my team goes to conferences. And for us, leads are a really good part of the sales process. And then finally, specific help that I can provide is I can help my colleague D with automating his GT resource and saving him a bunch of time that I see that he has to spend because it may not be a part that he was aware of. So get specific, and I'll start the clock now. And it will be important for you to spend this 5 minutes to do this exercise, because the next part of this process is going to be you sharing this with the other cohort members that you see here. So let me start the clock. All right. One thing that is interesting about this cohort-based course is, again, I want it to be a lot more interactive than a video on demand course. We've taken a bunch of those from Udemy, Coursera, you name it. And many of them we either have left halfway, or even if they've completed, it has taken a lot of effort out of us to make sure that we keep ourselves accountable. Whereas with this cohort-based approach, it is the accountability is built in. If you attend the live sessions and you get all your cohort members with you and you work together, it's not just the core syllabus, is we can learn a lot from each other. And one of these big things that I'm planning to do is a breakout room. So basically, you will be put into a room with one or two other members of the cohort. Today we have 6 of you all, so I'll create 2 rooms. This room, there's no recording, so it's a safe space. So please keep your mic or your video and your mic open. What I'm going to have you guys do in this breakout room is each person gets 5 minutes. Start with whoever has the longest last name, and one person keeps time. So just decide who keeps time. Spend a minute to introduce yourself. Who are you, your position, the company, 1-sentence explanation of what you do. And then as a icebreaker, show a desk item or something from around your desk that has a special memory for you. After that, present the org chart that you created so that everybody has some context of what kind of organization you have. And then share how you plan to create evidence for the calibration meeting. The things that are going to support your goals and are in line with the director's goals, a learning that you can share with the entire group, and then finally, something that you can help either a manager's peer or their direct report with. And then last minute or 2 would be for feedback or brainstorming ideas with your cohort members. Hey everybody, welcome back.
Man, it was too short of a time here.
I know.
I just took out most of the time. So Varun never got a chance. Sorry, Varun.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
okay.
Varun.
That is what I have seen happen a lot in the past as well. But it is a kind of a way to push everybody to kind of be more urgent, be more energetic, and get through it. But this is the experience of being in a cohort-based course. Now, normally I would have you share what you shared with the breakout room in the community Slack channel, which is integrated within the student portal, so that I can give my 2 cents to it and everybody else can add comments to these plans. What I'll do at this point is quickly go around the table and share what were your insights or new ideas that maybe you got from the breakout rooms? Let's start with Srivardhan because that's what I see on my screen here first. Srivardhan, go ahead. Just share something, an insight or a idea that you got from breakout room and popcorn it to somebody within the group or to somebody that you see.
Yeah, I think one of the key items in the few minutes that I gave Sriram and Varun that I learned was the focus on trying to innovate as a key leadership item and using that as leverage for the executive summaries. Right, that's a very important mindset to have as we grow in our careers. And from there start stemming the experience of what all do they expect next, right? It's not just innovation. What other leadership capabilities should you start showing as you want to get more and more of a leadership mindset?
Awesome. That's amazing. Can you popcorn to the next person? Just select.
Varun, can you go next?
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Sri. So, what I learned and understood from Srivardhan is same like Srivardhan. Even I'm working on a product which is a flagship product for Ford, and it's first in the market. So, he helped us understand the process. He has worked on several patents and how it works. Maybe that can help us understand. In fact, Sri has worked in Ford before, so that can help me understand how to file for patents, what is the process, and what are the roadblocks that he faced. In fact, it was helpful from the conversation I had with him.
Awesome. Patents are a great way to add value to the company and great way to take insights from the person that you are in the breakout room with. Awesome. Can you pop on to the next one?
Sure. Karthik?
Yes. Thank you, Arun. Nice to meet you as well. In the breakout room, I was with Jitin and Nitin Kodipati, and it was good to learn about their background. I think it was nice to learn from Nitin regarding the essay paper. I think even Varun, Gandhi, you mentioned about the essay paper. That's something that I can take it back from this workshop and discuss with my manager, because we do a lot of things. And also just now, Varun and I mentioned about the patent. I think I missed that from the breakout room. There's something that we do a lot for our customers with new products or new software that goes unnoticed. Just the customers appreciating our efforts and getting things done, but we never get that patented or write any essay paper for our innovation. That may be something I don't know about the company, or maybe if it's not, I can check with my manager to see if we can start working on that. Whoever develops it, can they write short summary and maybe convert it to an essay paper based on that if they have time. I know most of them will be busy, but if someone can concentrate, that would be great for the company's name and values. And also, one thing that I learned from Jitin was regarding A-Spice. I was always wondering what it is related towards, but since he's working in quality, I think it might be related to that. So maybe since now that I know it is somewhere related to quality, I can brush up my knowledge regarding A-Spice to since most of the products will need quality, and I closely work with the quality team on the embedded software side too.
Awesome. Awesome. Exactly. Even having this conversation of the paper, of the patent, will show initiative and will already show that you are doing something more than maybe some of your peers are doing. Can you pop on to the next one?
Sure. Sriram?
Yeah. Hey guys. Similar to what Warren said, it's a common discussion. So I took away patent as something that we could really work on. But with limited opportunities at Ford, it is something that might come into future benefit. So that is one. And personally, I would like to share my learnings on how to handle major issues that usually comes up during program milestones, and the learnings that we can take not to repeat similar mistakes, rather how can we propose solution to the management. And it was in fact my experience with one of my program that I worked recently. We had to introduce new process in the program milestone just to avoid this failure. So that was one. And again, learning new skill set matters a lot, and learning new tools, which and helping our core teammates to understand and learn those would definitely help our team and grow.
Awesome. Great. Those are great points. And also sometimes when you share what you are good at with the people around you, similar to what I'm trying to do here, you will be able to add value to people outside the organization as well, and that always feels good. Sriram, can you pop on to the next one?
Jatin?
Chetan, are you able to, if you're not able to, just give me a thumbs down and I'll let Nitin speak. If you are saying something, you are on mute. Okay. I'm going to assume that he's not available, so let's pop on to Nitin.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I talked with Jitin and Karthik. Somehow Jitin is busy with some other issue there. So, but yeah, based on what I heard from Karthik's experience, I came to, I want to take away something that he did participate in different roles, even with that Eng experience. So, which is something I want to take that part. And then also, like I asked him how should I learn the AutoSAR skill, like if you want to enter into that field, because it's not only sticking to my field for a long time. I want to explore other opportunities in the industry, so that if you want to go up the ladder, it's not only sticking to your role. You should be able to cover all variety of roles if possible. Even if it's not like full 100%, if you know what something about the different roles, I think that gives you higher priority than others who want to get to the higher up the ladder. So, which is something I want to take. And also from different people here, Varun, Sri, and Sriram, also the good experience, good things to get patents, and also how to handle the leadership skills. I think that's good learning for me.
Awesome. Yep, absolutely. One of the things that I talk about in the manager module is how they perceive leadership skills among their direct reports. And one of the key items that comes out of it also is lateral skills. Are you able to add more lateral skills to your toolkit, whether be it for your group or a different group within the organization? Those are all great points, and this is exactly why I feel cohort-based courses add so much more value than a video-on-demand course. All right. Now, normally the next step in this course would be, before executing on all the ideas that you came up with today, was to build relationships with the decision makers and understand what the players in the system value, and then combing down your action list. And we do this using something called as mentor talks. Now, I won't go deep into what that strategy is today, but the next module in the course would be how you can go beyond your cordial, really good relationship with your manager into something of a mentor-mentee relationship where they are deeply invested in your growth. So let me just give you 2 examples. One of my mentees is Narendra Mayabhate. He's from UMD, and I helped him get a new job at Canoe. When he was at Ford on a contract basis, something Sriram, you and Varun would know a lot about, he started doing these mentor talks, and his manager, after one of these talks, initiated a conversation about him or thinking about him coming directly into the organization, something he had not talked about or even mentioned in the last years of him working there as a contractor. So that's one example. And the other example, I took one of my CTOs out for lunch in a previous company, and I wrote about that on my blog. Just out of having those mentor talks, I was able to get a role in their or an offer to join their company in the role that I was working in. When I was happy where I was with my current company. They even tried to see if there is a marketing role that I would like, because at that point I was really trying to develop this lateral marketing skill to help my current company do sales and marketing. So that's just example of what these mentor talks can do. Now, I'm not promising that result, but I will definitely promise that it will go beyond the cordial relationship that you have today. And more importantly, you will understand how they made decisions in their career and how they perceive top performance within the group. So that's what is module 2. And that from now, I will segue into something that I've been working on for a really long time. And I'm so thankful that you guys have given me a chance to introduce it for the first time ever, that the enrollment is open on this cohort-based course that I've created, Crush Performance Reviews for Engineers, Rise from Stagnation at Work to Your Next Leadership Role. I will talk about the why in just a minute, but I'll skate through this slides, rest of the remaining slides, because I think we are a bit over time. Is this cohort starts from September 21 to 23. You can expect what you saw today to be repeated over the course of the course. The course schedule is from September 21st to 23rd, 2 hours each day. We will decide on a time based on the people that enroll, and I'll do a quick survey with those people. And that will be 2 hours each day of this live session. Then after that, on Saturday will be time slots by appointment, so office hours. Then there will be daily projects each day, something very similar to what you did today. So most of the work that you will be doing in this course will be within the confines of the time, the course time, but there might be something that you were not able to get to that you might have to do after the courses end or the live sessions end. And then finally, the big part of this is accountability. So I want to have office hours set or a group session set at the 30, 60, and 90-day mark, so that there is some accountability towards the action plan that we create in the course. And I'm also able to kind of support or help in any way I can during those milestones. Like I said, it's a cohort-based course. You guys already have an experience of what that would feel like, having this network, having these people that you will go through this course with and learning from each other. If it is okay if you can't attend a live event, a recording of the live session will be shared in the student portal. It is quite accessible on the Maven platform. You will get live sessions of each or recordings of each live session. And then finally, what I cannot stress enough is accountability. I know when I was trying to be or even learn to be a top performer at work, it was a little bit of a lonely process because I had not shared that I wanted to do something like that. Neither did I know people who were sharing that they want to become a top performer at work. And when there is a deadline on a personal project, I'm sure all of you are aware of it, it's very difficult to keep ourselves accountable. If it's a work project, even if we procrastinate, we know when the deadline comes, a devil will start dancing on your back and you will do the project. But when it comes to the personal work, all these different projects kind of keep dragging their feet. So accountability in these live sessions, because most of the work that you will do in the course will be in the live sessions, is a big reason why I'm creating this as a cohort-based course. You will design 30, 60, 90-day action plans, because soft skills are the last thing that you work on, because work always comes first and it overwhelms everything. But we will design a 30, 60, 90-day plan that is not too time intensive yet impactful. We will dissect the manager's viewpoint. Like I said, I don't have an experience of working in all these different types of companies and industries. So I reached out to managers I knew from places like Amazon, auto companies, software companies, 4 different managers, and I reached out to them anonymously because they are willing to share a lot more anonymously than by putting their name in public domain. Develop relationships with leadership team. We already touched upon the mentor talks. We already did the review Courtroom. Writing scripts for the review. I know when the time comes to do a self-review, we are always scrambling, looking at things online and trying to look at emails. I wanted to provide a system that is easier to do for this year. And then more importantly, I think there is an empowerment that comes out of working with other top performers and with a input from other people in the group. And this is immense when it comes to going from where you are right now and where you want to be in the future. This course is for people who are trying to level up in their careers, who either have been cruising at work for any reason and want to accelerate your career development. If you are an early career engineer, which I don't think any of you are, you guys are pretty experienced here. And then engineers from all fields, basically, whether you are from the software side, the supplier side, quality side, the advanced development side, no matter what, we are all rated by similar metrics. And nuances can be covered either by me or in these breakout rooms like you already have started doing. Now, the course is not for you if you have an external locus of control. If you think that things should come to you, then this course is not for you. It's not for you if you think that you have to work immensely hard, extra, or play the game of office politics. And it is not for you if you are already working on the best project of your business unit or you are on a track for more leadership opportunities, because you're already there. This may not be the best platform for you. Finally, I would say that if you are on the fence, I would encourage you to take the jump. And this is why I encourage you to take the jump, is that I'm providing a safety net. So because I know you all, and there will be no hard feelings, if ever you feel that, okay, this course was not effective for you, not a value add for you, then I'll give you your 100% money back, no questions asked. I'll even eat all the credit card processing fees that we are charged. So don't worry about that. If you are on the fence, take the leap of faith. I'm confident of delivering a lot of amazing value throughout this course. There's also an email script. A lot of companies have personal development budgets or learning budgets. I'll provide a script and we can even work on it together if you want to try to see if there is a reimbursement available from your company. A simple email like this, if there is a policy in place, can save hundreds of dollars by just one email. Then finally, the why, and I won't spend too much time on this because I think you guys know me pretty well, is that I thought that when I did good at school, that would translate easily into work. If I do my task, I'm going to get an A grade. But for the first few years of my career, I couldn't understand why I was just stuck. I was in a state of limbo. Only when I started to learn more about self-development, leadership, learn more from these mentor talks, was I able to take action on many of the things that I had been just thinking about. And what I realized is that to get a promotion, you have to first show evidence of doing the job. So first show evidence of you already doing the job that you will be assigned to later. And that's how I, from an entry-level engineer, was able to convince my founder to part with a part of his company. Nobody would give a part of their company to somebody if they didn't think that I was not only going to add value to him, but help him earn more or take this more ahead. And finally, I think this process, again, like I said, was very lonely for me, was very hard, arduous. And I'm trying to make it more fun, make it more community-based, make it more like a group trying to achieve something, because I think it is important to keep each other accountable as well as encouraged throughout this process. And finally, I'll say that promotions are not just offered to exceptional performers. In the current company that I work in, I'm technically not the most experienced person or the most skillful person, but there are other areas that you can add value with to improve your chances of getting a promotion or that leadership role in a project that you are hoping for. So finally, like I mentioned, I wanted to thank you guys to giving me this opportunity to introduce this product to you. And a way to thank you guys would be that I'm going to provide the best offer that I think I can provide. And I promise this offer will not be given later, is this coupon code that I would love to share with you, which is preview 30. So 30% off from the $350 price. So that becomes $245. And I'm just going to add a time commitment to it. So this code expires at midnight tonight Eastern. So Detroit, New York time, 12 a.m. Eastern. And you can sign up at maven.com/beyondgrad, use this coupon code, and get this at the price that I have listed here. Before we end, any questions regarding the course or the course format or anything we discussed today? You can add it in the chat or you can unmute and share. All right. Then what I will do is I will end it with a popcorn shout out. Again, I'll pick a person this time. Let's start with Nitin. Just one main insight from this workshop today. Nitin, if you are speaking, I think you're on mute.
No, I just need to jump it off. So, but I think it's a great presentation, Varun. Thanks for conducting this. But yeah, I'll get back to you soon.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Can you popcorn it to somebody else in the group?
About Karthik.
Sure, Nitin. Yep. First of all, thank you, Varun, for this workshop. It was really amazing. It added a lot of value to learn from others and as well as from you. Really nice presentation. I learned a lot. Like, I did not know about those HR policies before the performance review, then how exactly it works. Also, overdue peers. That's something new that I learned, but it made a lot of sense to me. It's not just competing within myself, but also there are a few things to be considered outside of that, external factors like the overdue peers, which is really nice, and also the managers' dynamics.
Yeah.
Something that I learned as well. So yes, thank you once again. for this workshop and taking your time out and giving the presentation. My performance review is coming up very soon, maybe within a week or two. So this has helped a lot.
Perfect.
Okay. And if I have to provide, maybe Srivardhan.
Yeah. So I think for these kind of learnings, it's very good to have a cohort-based discussion-based learning. It really helps put a lot of different perspectives together so that we can learn from a community, right? So thanks for putting this together, Varun. And I think most like Jay was traveling, otherwise he would have also joined, and we'll most likely join just for making sure that we also learn something. You always learn something, right? As you, even if you're on the track or not, right?
Right.
So I will most likely register later tonight.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, man. I appreciate
Okay,
that.
cool. Thanks for setting it up. Appreciate it.
Can you popcorn it to the next person?
Yeah, let's do Varun Nair.
Thanks, Sri. First of all, Varun, thanks a lot for inviting me for this course. It was really a good insight, especially I never knew there were so many variables, when it comes to the review, performance review, especially team stability, and what you mentioned specifically about that part was really helpful. This really helps. Maybe things like informations which will definitely help the team that I'm working on, will maybe help me be in that current role whenever I get another opportunities elsewhere, maybe in some other company, because they want those things to be there within the group or within the company, and might be considered as a risk to maybe give me to some other company if I get a new offer. So
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just add that you may not have a formal review process as a contract employee, but
yes,
you are definitely having some kind of an informal process because they are paying for the contract, and they
Mhm.
wouldn't pay or continue to pay if they think that the performance is not there. But to take this next level where you are going from some a asset that they are happy to work with, but somebody who has a say within their organization, or even have the fear of you going to a different organization, things like these are great to level up in that sense.
Yeah, and to add to that, Varun, I used to be contract at Ford. I was contract for 2.5 years before I was converted direct. And I used to have, just like Varun mentioned in his list, I used to have mentor talks with not just my supervisor, direct supervisor at Ford in my department, but also other supervisors in the same department. It helps having people know that you exist, right? Not to be very trivial, but they need to know there is this person called, let's say, Varun, right? And this person does so and so. And oh, by the way, I saw this guy work on multiple projects, or I've seen him present in meetings. He's very articulated, and so forth, right? It helps having uh, be in that visibility role. So that's how I was converted direct, because I had those conversations with my supervisor, even though there was no formal review process. But I did know that they were considering peer feedback as the key metric in helping you convert, right? So that's something you should talk to actively, as a, hey, I can't have one-on-ones, but I would like to set them up just for my development perspective, and have those conversations.
Right. And to add to what she is saying, I was a contract employee at the previous company that I was at, and that's mentor talks showing how of a top performer I was key in not just having me giving me offers to do direct, but also giving me the confidence that what I am doing is valuable to the company. So even if I may not want to work with that company, the confidence and the practice of being a top performer was invaluable. So something to keep in mind as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So the final, I think, is Sriram. Sriram, if you are able to go.
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Varun, for setting this up. And the points which I wanted to cover is mostly covered by everyone. So the main thing, again, as a contract employee, I totally get that. And it's been a couple of years now. I have been asking my supervisor to schedule one-on-one personally to have a review, and it in turn helps. At the same time, it's really hard to get a response immediately. So that is something that we have to work on. And yeah.
So I'll just add a secret. I'll add a secret there. So if you have a one-on-one in the office and you're discussing projects and what your performance is, that's much better than not doing anything. There's a slightly better method where you basically have a mentor talk where you are not talking about goals or project work. All you are talking about is looking at their LinkedIn profile and see how they made decisions and ask them about it. So that's the switch that was immensely beneficial for me as well, because now you are separating their investment in you with just project work. Now if you are genuine about it, they will be invested in your growth, which is much more different than your performance. So I could talk an hour because that is an hour of the course, but that small switch, meeting outside work or meeting outside work time and asking them how they made decisions in their career, and then learning from that rather than going with the frame of mind of what you want, that is also goes a long way in developing that relationship.
Right. And expand, sorry to interrupt, but expanding on that, I should have added this earlier, was my one-on-ones with my direct supervisor at that time for converting direct was I never asked to be converted direct, right? I always talked about me wanting to be in leadership roles, right? And how do I get there? And to help with that, my own supervisor at that time was very invested in me. So he actually gave me a career plan template. And it was very effective in even for myself, putting things down on that career plan helped me understand and give like timeline goals, right? And I use that, I still use it till now, right? For all my discussions, whenever I want my career plan discussions to go with whoever my mentors that I work with, right? It's very important to have a career plan template that helps you articulate what you want out of your career, right? May be it at Ford, be it at anywhere else, right? And that helps them understand what you're looking for. It could be a role within their department. It could be a role they see in other departments. They should want to invest their word on you, right? And that helps them do that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks for that. Just made note of it.
Cool. Awesome. So I guess what I'll do at this point is I'll stop sharing and stop recording. Let's see. Sometimes I always, oh yeah, here you go.